What's up, everybody? Josh or Miho here. I hope everybody's doing good and well and stuff. I got an album review to do for you, and I'm going to show it to you right now. This is the new album from the band Fetid Zombie entitled Holy Destroyer. This is released on Metalhit.com. Now, if you're not too familiar with this project, it's based out of Virginia, and the best way to describe the sound of this band would be a very crusty, gritty, old-school style of death metal. This is a one-man death metal project run by a guy by the name of Mark Riddick. Now, if you're not too aware of who he is, he, in my opinion, is a force within the metal underground, both musically and visually, because he's also been involved with bands such as Gravewax, Macabre, and Unburied. But something else he's most well known for is his visual arts, his drawings, his artwork, and he has worked with a who's who of bands within the world of metal. I mean, bands like the Black Dahlia Murder, Arsis, Coffins, Imprecation, Gravehill, Druid Lord. The list is endless, but he's done a lot of great artwork for said bands. And yeah, with that being said, let's get back onto his musical traits. This is his fourth album under the Fetid Zombie name. And in my opinion, this project of his has done a lot of growing and changing throughout the years. The first couple of albums had that traditional, gritty kind of old-school death metal quality, but it had some very fast-moving stuff going along with it, some really catchy and memorable riffs, some really sick and twisted vocals, almost emphasizing on pitch shifting, but his natural-sounding voice is just crazy and really, really awesome and enjoyable. Yeah, this is the fourth album under the Fetid Zombie name. It's 10 tracks, and it clocks in at around 39 minutes in length. And I have to say, this, in my opinion, is probably the best thing that he's ever done under the Fetid Zombie name. And there is just so much good, solid emphasis on songwriting and just the overall death metal ebb and flow going on here. This is just some really awesome stuff. The guitar work on here is really, really solid and entertaining. I'm really digging the way the riffs are structured and carried out. Very, very... I want to say it has an almost classic rock type of vibe to it. Once you hear the riffs on, let's say, maybe the first two tracks, the title track and the Cold Grip of Death, you hear kind of an old-school, classic rock type of vibe and mentality to the riffs. But I still think the riffs as a whole and all together sound absolutely amazing. Some great, very well played stuff. And I should also mention some of the solo work that appears on here is some really solid work. I mentioned Arsis earlier. James from Arsis does some solo work on a couple of tracks. Most notably, in my opinion, songs like the title track and Embalmed for Eternity. Some really, really awesome solo work done by him on those tracks. But the guitar work altogether is just amazing. Bass-wise, I really love the way this bass guitar sounds. It is just perfect. It is a great fit for this kind of music style. It is audible. It is clear. It has its moments where you hear it on its own. I want to say on the track Crucify the Proselytizer, you hear the bass on that song very audibly and clearly, and I think it's done very good, very tastefully, but yet it's just played extremely well. I love how it just merges itself in with the guitar on this album, and it sounds amazing. Drum-wise, going back to the classic rock kind of vibe, the drums have that kind of style, especially, I mentioned the first two tracks on this album. They have that old school rock kind of vibe. But once it gets to being straight up old school death metal, you have those kind of drum beats and vibes going on with this record. Some really good solid snare hits. I want to say this is a drum machine doing the work. If I'm wrong, please correct me. But regardless of which, I think it's played in a very professional kind of manner. I really enjoy the way that it's set up and played, very nicely done, some nice solid moments within the drums. And the vocals here are probably one of my favorite things about this record. I really enjoy Mark's voice on this record. Just that evil, twisted kind of nastiness in his voice. You can understand everything he says, but just the way he delivers his words, the way he just vomits them out. It's like he's literally wanting to vomit into the microphone, just the way he sounds in his voice. It's just great. I really dig that and enjoy that vocal style a lot. Just a little bit of that echoing kind of vibe takes you back to earlier 80s death metal records. I think it's really neat. And the guest vocals that do appear on this album are something to behold. On the track Open Casket Stench, you hear Damien from the band Horrendous. Horrendous is an amazing old school death metal band, and you hear his voice right away, and it's amazing. And the track Atheistic Might, it features Don from Nunslaughter on there. You recognize his voice instantly, and it's pretty badass. And then on the track Embalm for Eternity, you have the Black Lord of Crucifixion from Crucifier, formerly Black Grand Belial's Key. You hear his voice on that track, and it's pretty awesome. But overall, aside from the guest vocals, Mark's vocals are incredible here. I love his vocal style. Very booming, very rumbling, but yet he delivers it in such a way you definitely can nod your head and bang your head to it. It is very, very awesome. So overall, this is a definite surprise for me. I was not expecting to enjoy it as much as I did. I was expecting to like it, but not enjoy it so thoroughly as I did with this album. And I absolutely love it. I think it's great old school death metal, and definitely if you're a fan of Mark Riddick's musical works, you'll definitely find something to appreciate with Holy Destroyer. I think this is his best material yet, and I think he should definitely be proud for making something as awesome as this. So, if I had to pick any favorite tracks, I would definitely have to say the title track, Crucify the Proselytizer, Converted by Force, Open Casket Stench, and Embalm for Eternity. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you a link in the description box to the Metalhit.com Bandcamp page where you can stream this album, hear it for yourself. You can have the option to buy it digitally, or you can have the option to buy it digitally and physically. And I definitely recommend that you buy the physical copy, because if you do, you're going to get so much cool shit with this CD. Not only just the CD digipack, but also you get a patch, you get a button. Well, let me show you the button here. Fetid Zombie button. You have a long sleeve booklet with photos, liner notes, lyrics, and a whole bunch of other cool stuff. See the lyrics right there. You also get like a little promotional thing with Mark Riddick's image on here, promoting all the bands that appeared on here. Nice little postcard artwork. And the kicker of all this, you get a poster. A very badass poster featuring the artwork. All this other cool stuff on here. There's so much incentive to give this physical release a try, and I definitely recommend you do so. So I'm going to show you the album again. This is Holy Destroyer by Fetid Zombie. This is released on Metalhit.com. Definitely support this band, and I'm going to give this a very strong 8.5 out of 10. Amazing, amazing album, and definitely something I'll be listening to a lot for the rest of the year. So support Mark Riddick, support Fetid Zombie. I'm going to conclude this review. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for checking out my channel. And until the next time, Armijo out.